For the past decade, the NSA has secretly been gathering confidential data on every citizen in the United States, all without a warrant. They have claimed that this program is being used solely to prevent terrorist attacks on our soil, but just where do we draw the line on this? This information includes email and internet searches, call logs and texting records, along with financial transactions.
The government is collecting information about everybody, and that's no longer, just speculation.
All of this was made legal through the passing of the Patriot Act under President Bush's administration shortly after 9/11. Under the Patriot Act, the government only needs to show that the information is relevant to an authorized investigation. No connection to a terrorist or spy is required. No warrants are required for any of this. So just how much data is the NSA actually gathering? According to the Wall Street Journal, the NSA has gathered as much as 75% of all web traffic in the U.S. Conservative estimates believe that the NSA has gathered as much as 15 to 20 trillion transactions in the past 11 years. So how has the NSA been able to do this? The NSA has convinced many major telecommunication companies, including AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, to provide them with their call detail records. These records contain customers' names, addresses, and other personal information. According to a former employee, their goal was to create a database of every call ever made. Through these companies, the NSA has been able to access the email correspondence of all email communications of these customers, adding up to as many as 1.7 billion emails daily. To gain this information, the government installed top-secret rooms within these companies' buildings to access all of the data going through their system. All of this has been done without a warrant or court approval through the abuses of the Freedom Act. This program had operated in secrecy for years until Edward Snowden, a former NSA employee, blew the whistle on these secret activities by leaking key information behind the actions of this program.
I, sitting at my desk, certainly had the authorities to wiretap anyone, from you or your accountant to a federal judge to even the president if I had a personal email.
The first document he released was a secret court order by the NSA to Verizon ordering them to hand over all telecommunication data on a daily basis. Shortly after this was released, more information came to light that the NSA had been tapping into the servers of internet firms such as Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Skype, AOL, and many others in an operation they called PRISM.
You don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, even by a wrong call, and then they can use the system to go back in time and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with, and attack you on that basis to sort of derive suspicion from an innocent life and paint anyone in the context of a wrongdoer.
When the news of this program was released, American citizens were in outrage at the actions of their government. This, however, hasn't changed their actions at all. If they are truly using this operation to target terrorism, then what is the need for such intense secrecy?
Give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
All of these lies associated with this program make it evident that the NSA is clearly up to something. If they truly have good intentions for this program, then why keep the actions of this organization so classified, especially with a great amount of controversy associated with them? Some may argue that this is because they are trying not to tip off any terrorists on their methods. However, the world already knows that they are gathering mass amounts of information, and possible terrorists have already taken provisions to evade this. Where is the evidence that this program is indeed doing anything to stop terrorism? One would think that they would provide some results of their work, especially amidst such great controversy.
We've got to be concerned when the government has so much power over our most private information.
You ask us, what do we have to hide? What do they have to hide? If there's a court that's actually monitoring it, well then why aren't records ever being released?
For more information, I chose to interview my aunt, Ann Pickett, an assistant DA, to see what she had to say on the NSA involving abuses of American citizens' constitutional rights. What legal arguments are out there in favor of the NSA's data collection?
Currently, there is a U.S. District Court case on ACLU v. Clapper filed in New York on December 27, 2013. They ruled in favor of the NSA because there is more information that could have been obtained and proven to be helpful in terms of counterterrorism efforts. The court found that the Patriot Act allows the government more power in obtaining information, providing pertinent investigations, even if citizens' rights to privacy are put at risk.
How could this process be improved to better balance the interest between individual liberties and the state's interest in protecting their citizens?
The information needs to be collected, but instead of all the power to operate these searches being in the hands of the executive branch, the NSA should be required to go through more judicial review to provide additional protection to citizens' rights, and make sure that they have enough evidence to look into the information gathered. This will give the public a better view on this operation as they realize they're not really looking at everyone's records, just those who seem pertinent in the national security efforts. Tightening the entry into these records will make everyone feel safer.
Recently, the news has come out that a new organization called the Church Committee has been put in place to examine the legality of the NSA in regards to their domestic spying program. This organization has been reestablished to rule on the wrongdoings of the NSA and is set to come up with their ruling by the end of this year. This could mean the end for the NSA as we know it.